In addition to adding, moving, and removing clips in your sequence, it's very likely that you're going to want to change the part of a clip that you've used. And there is a way to do this called trimming. Now, the word trimming comes from celluloid film editing, where you would trim off the end of a roll of film and just throw the little piece of unwanted celluloid on the floor. I suppose you could think of it like trimming a hedge as well, but it's a bit more complicated in a nonlinear editing system. Once again, when we trim our clips, we're going to find we've still got the insert, shuffle things around style and overwrite style of editing available. Let me show you what I mean. So here in our sequence, we've got this shot of the beach, and you'll notice it's pretty small, but at the corners of the clip segments, there are no little white triangles, which means I know there's more content available. I've got the selection tool selected. There it is highlighted in blue. With that tool selected, I can just hover over the end of the clip. You see, I get this red arrow, and I can drag to the right to extend the part of the clip that I'm going to include in my sequence. Now, I haven't released the mouse yet. You'll notice the program monitor switches to a kind of trim preview. I also get an indication with a little tooltip near the cursor that shows me the adjustment I'm making, plus 2 seconds and 3 frames there, and the overall duration if I release the mouse. So I'll release the mouse now, and the clip is longer. And this is possible because the clip was never really segmented when you added the in and out points at the beginning of editing it into the sequence. Instead, it's kind of better to think of it as folded back or rolled back. All of the original contents of this clip are still available. If you want to see what's available in total, you can press the F key, F for Foxtrot, just select the clip to make sure it's highlighted. Press F for frame, and this will open the clip in the source monitor. This is the shortcut for match frame, and now you can see all of the available content. So if I want to, I can drag all the way out, and I'm going to reach a point where you can see the tooltip says trim media limit reached, and that's because there is no more media available. And if I deselect, you can see that little white triangle shows me it's the end of the clip. Now, when you don't use a modifier key and you drag the end of a clip, you can make it shorter or you can make it longer. I can do the beginning as well. When you do that, you're performing what's called a regular trim. And this is a little bit like overwrite editing. So it's going to leave gaps. And you'll notice if I move this clip over to close that gap, I'm just dragging it into position. I can drag this clip shorter, but I can't drag it longer. You notice that Premiere Pro won't let me extend the clip because it's blocked. You can even see that in the tooltip. There's another clip in the way. Now, let me illustrate that with a clip in the middle. Here's a clip that's a little bit too long. I'm going to drag left to make it shorter, and this leaves a gap. But what if I don't want to leave a gap? So I'm going to undo, and now I'm going to hold Command on Mac OS. This would be Control on Windows, and I get a yellow arrow instead of a red one. And now I'm going to drag, I get that preview. The frame to the right up in the program monitor is the beginning of the next clip. And now when I release the mouse, no gap is left behind. So this is the insert version of trimming. And it's a bit like an extract edit, again, that closes the gap. This is the yellow mode where things shuffle around. If I hold the Command key here on macOS, again, this would be Control on Windows, I can now drag to the right to extend the part of the clip that I've used. And when I release the mouse, everything gets pushed out of the way, something that's not possible when performing a regular trim. Because, of course, we're in the ripple trim mode now, which does shuffle things all around. One very quick last thing to add here is if I position my playhead at the beginning of this clip, at the point I'd like to be the beginning, I can manually trim. I can snap to that position I want. I'll just undo. But I can also use a keyboard shortcut. If I press Q, Premiere Pro will trim the beginning of the clip and ripple edit to close the gap. And let's say this is the end of the clip. This is where I want the new end to be. I can press the W key, and again, Premiere Pro will ripple trim to the position of the playhead. So it's a really quick way of thinking, no, actually, that's the beginning I want, or that's the end that I want. So that's very basic trimming in Premiere Pro.